Hello and welcome to the San Jose State Weekly Football Press Conference. Today is Monday, September 25th. The Spartans are 1-4 following the home loss to Utah State last Saturday. And now we'll head out on the road to face UNLV, the Rebels, on Saturday, September 30th. Kickoff from Las Vegas is at 7:30 Pacific time on ESPNU. Our coverage on 1590 AM KLIV and the Spartan Radio Network will begin at 7 o'clock Pacific time. Let's welcome in San Jose State head coach Brent Brennan.
Hello. All right, so we are coming off a really ugly, hard loss against Utah State. I thought, trying to find some good stuff in that game, there wasn't a lot, but we went through it today with our team. Obviously yesterday is the staff, today's our day off. Yesterday's the players' day off. So the staff was hard at it all day, all night, trying to figure out what went wrong. Lots of stuff that we can fix, we think. But give credit to Utah State. They came in here with a good plan, and they beat us fair and square. So we had a good practice today, a good start of preparation for UNLV, and we are going to get our team ready to go.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Hi.
To touch on that a little bit more, it's been almost 48 hours since the Utah State loss. You just touched on it, that you watched the film already with the staff, but what's the preparation like now with getting ready for UNLV?
Well, I think the biggest thing really in our process doesn't really change win or lose. It's really we put that thing to bed as quick as we can Monday morning with the team and start our preparation for the next opponent. So as frustrating and as disappointing as the loss was on Saturday, we can't let that be something that gives us a weak hangover and something that we can't find a way to work towards overcoming. So we got on to UNLV today, and the players, we had a good practice, it was good intensity, good effort, and so I think they're excited to put that behind us and keep their eyes looking forward.
Josh Love got another chance at starting quarterback, but he obviously didn't make the most of it. What's in store for the quarterback department this week?
That's a good question. Right now, Josh is going to be the guy that gets the first crack at it. I think that position's hard because when you have, an injury at quarterback and then you have, Josh stepping in, him trying to figure it out. I thought Utah State did a nice job with their pressures and with mixing up kind of their front. But when you're that guy, you got to stand in there and make throws, and that's a challenging thing. And I think Josh can do that. There have been times this season where he has stood in the pocket and completed tough throws. And so I think we need to keep coaching him. I think he needs to be diligent in his process, which he will be, and I think he gives us the best chance.
Utah was 3 for 3 on fourth downs. Do you think their first attempt, I believe it was the first drive when they were facing a 4th and 1 on your 29, and they ran it for the touchdown? Do you think that was like a tone setter for them and your defense?
I think anytime you give up a 4th and short for a first down, it's something that can leave an impact. I think again, that play, there was some things that were really fixable about kind of the tracks we were on with where people were and where they should have been and where they weren't. And so I think that's an easy thing to fix. But that was more of us being in the wrong place or taking too wide of a path than we should have been taking on the specific kind of run design.
Coach, we're going to go to the phone now. Mark Anderson from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Mark, one question for Coach.
Yeah, because I know you just got there, but San Jose State has really dominated this series. Do you think that helps going into this game, especially coming off of the game you're coming off, where maybe it gives you a little bit of a mental edge?
I think for us it's really just the next opportunity to play. I don't think we think about the past too much because obviously our team was different then and UNLV's team was different then. I think for us more than anything, we're just anxious to get past last week and have another chance to play and have another chance for our team to practice and improve and hopefully play good enough football on Saturday night.
Coach, just counting picks and fumbles, your team has turned the ball over 17 times through 5 games this season, leading to 93 points off of turnovers. You guys scored 82 points total all season. What's going on, not only protecting the football, but moving the football?
Well, I think anytime you turn the ball over at the rate we have, you're going to have a hard time winning football games. And that's something that we're stressing as a football team. It's something we're working on in practice every day. The lack of production offensively, I think, comes with a combination of playing some really high caliber opponents, and then also some of the ineffectiveness. You mentioned the turnovers. We've had some penalties with some false start stuff. So some of the stuff is, or a lot of it is self-inflicted. We get something going, and then we break down the protection, and the quarterback gets sacked and fumbled. Some of that, to me, is lack of experience with our quarterback, right? They haven't played a lot of snaps. Things happen way faster in a game. It's really hard to simulate in practice. So it's trying to get our team to settle down and execute the scheme, which is not real challenging. I think it's something that's easily executable. We just got to get back to kind of fundamental football, detailing our process for everybody who's on the field.
All right. So hello, Coach. My question for you is, during halftime, we were losing 38-0.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know what your message was to the team or your thoughts at that point.
My message to the team at halftime was, how are we going to handle what happened to us in the first half? And, are we going to bow up and go out there and play? And what kind of fight are we going to see from our football team? And so we talked about, if they could score 38 and a half, so can we. And obviously, I think a couple things compounded that pretty quickly in the second half there. We stopped them. We kicked off to them. We came out and we stopped them, which was really positive. And then we muffed the punt and gave them the ball on the 11-yard line. So, those kind of self-inflicted wounds are really hard to overcome when you're trying to get back into a football game or when you're trying to play winning football. The penalties that I mentioned or the turnovers, those things are just devastating when you're trying to get your football team on track.
Jermaine Kelly was the only player who shined in the Spartan defense. Which other players need to step up their game on the field?
Well, I would say everybody needs to step up their game on the field. Every player, every coaching staff, that was my message to the team after the game. When you go through something like that, everybody needs to, we need to look internally. We need to stick together, and every guy needs to look at himself and say, okay, am I doing everything I can to give our team the best chance to win when we play?
Coach, back to the phone. Mark Anderson. Another question for Coach?
Yeah, Coach, what about UNLV's offense that sticks out to you the most? What you've seen on video?
Well, I think they've got, a good amount of playmakers. I think Devontae Boyd is an outstanding receiver. He's just an excellent player. Armani Rogers, I recruited Armani when I was at Oregon State. I remember him. Good player, really good combination of, arm talent, and also, he can run around and extend plays and do that kind of stuff. And then I think their running back, Lexington, is a fabulous player also. So they present, multiple challenges with their ability to run the football, a quarterback who is dynamic, and then also a big play wide receiver.
Two-part question, Coach. Your defense was 40 minutes on the field. At what point, if any, did you begin to see kind of their fatigue showing and Utah taking advantage of it? And then how do you think that will affect the game against UNLV?
I think part of one of our challenges as a football team right now is that the lack of effectiveness of our offense, or our inability to consistently move the football or get first downs, is made it hard on the defense because they've had to play more plays. Some of the turnovers has given them short fields. We did that against Utah, and we did that against Utah State. And so obviously that falls on us as a coaching staff, it falls on the players as an offense, that we need to find a way to move the football consistently so that we can help our defense not have to play as many snaps.
Talk about moving the football, sir. Coach, it's tough to run the football when, you're down often. The team only has one rushing touchdown. It's given up 16. What needs to change to make sure that you guys start fast and maintain that, balanced offense throughout the game?
Well, I think trying to get some of the run game established early on in the game is critical, and I think there were times on Saturday night where we actually did run the ball well, but then it was a sack fumble, or it was a drop pass, or it was the thing about Saturday night was that it was such a collective loss. There's no individual group or position or anything like that where you can say, well, yeah, these guys need to step their game up. Like all of us own Saturday night. And so, in our effort to try and establish more of a run game, I believe in that offensive line. It's a veteran offensive line. They've played a lot of snaps, and I'm hopeful that they're going to step their game up.
Just out of curiosity, what's your take on why the Spartans offense had a stone cold identity until the third quarter of the game?
Could you please rephrase that question?
What's your take on why the team's offense had a stone cold identity until the third quarter?
Why we didn't have much production? Is that
Yeah.
Part of that is that we dropped a kickoff, misplayed 2 kickoffs, and had turnovers that resulted in points for Utah State. And so those things kind of all stacked on one another. It was like a 15-minute nightmare in the second quarter as those things kind of compounded one another.
Just comment on just the beginning of the game where it looked like you guys were going to get momentum from that interception, and then just the very next drive, the fumble. Like, what does that do for your team kind of going forward into the game?
Well, I think anytime, we had a nice play by Andre Chachere and the interception, and then he returns it for a pretty good chunk, and now we got the ball at midfield and we're fired up. And, one of our most trustworthy guys, Zamora Ziegler, had the ball low, running through the hole. And anytime you're not carrying that ball, north and south, high and tight, you're susceptible to fumbling. And so that's what happened. And I think, obviously that was a critical moment in the game because we kind of seized momentum for a second. If we could have translated that into points, who knows how the game goes. But I do think part of our process is trying to get our team on track in terms of our thought process. What do we think when something goes wrong? Do we think, hey, bow up, I got this? Or do we think, oh no, I'm in trouble? So that's an ongoing development with our team, and it's something we're working on every day.
Coach, Saturday marks the 6th game of the season, 5th in just the month of September. Pretty heavy for a young staff, a young team. But what have you learned so far, just overall, almost halfway through the season, about your team?
I've learned it's hard to win. I've learned it's hard to win, and that everything in life and football is a process, and we are in the middle of this process here as a new coaching staff, as a young football team, and everybody has an opportunity and an obligation to grow and improve every day.
Coach, back to the phone again. Mark Anderson, one more question for Coach.
Yeah, just following up on Armani Rogers. What do you remember most when you recruited about your recruiting of him?
I would say his arm talent. I just was really, really impressed with his ability to spin it. I thought he had really great velocity on that ball. I saw him throw it multiple times. Myself and our offensive coordinator from Oregon State went down there and watched him. But great kid, and it's neat to see him developing into a good player.
Great, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
So the team is getting ready for their second consecutive conference game of the year against UNLV. How important is it to score first?
Well, I think it's always important to score as quick as you can. If that's the first opportunity we get it, then we need to do that. I think more importantly, it's just as a team, we need to find a way to get some first downs, move the football, and then score touchdowns. And so that's been a challenge for us. The first month of the season is something that everybody's working really hard on right now, and I believe in these players. I believe in this coaching staff, and we're going to keep grinding until we get it right. Thank you.
All right, that does it for this week's press conference. Once again, San Jose State on the road this Saturday, September 30th, against the UNLV Rebels. Kickoff from Las Vegas at 7:30 on ESPNU. Our coverage on 1590 AM KLIV and the Spartan Radio Network will begin at 7 o'clock. That does it for us this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.